Welcome to my Rygar any % no wrong warp speedrun tutorial. This category is a relaxing speedrun that doesn't require a lot of mashing or frame perfect tricks. I really enjoy this speedrun and hope you will too. To begin, the movement in Rygar can feel a bit janky when you're first getting started with the run. However, once you get used to its quirks, it doesn't get in the way of the run too often, and it can actually help in some cases. Before we get too deep into the movement in Rygar, we should go over the two types of levels. A traditional platforming level where you can move left or right, and a top-down level where you can move in all directions. You can only move diagonally while jumping in the top-down levels. In the traditional platforming levels, when running left or right, if you switch to an up input on the D-pad without having a neutral D-pad frame, you will continue running left or right even though you're only holding up. This can be useful when you're moving towards a rope to climb, since holding up on the D-pad will start your climb on the first frame possible. However, if you're trying to quickly shoot your grappling hook upward, which requires holding up and B while standing still, you can continue running instead if you don't make sure you let off the D-pad for at least one frame. I ran off a few branches in Eruga's forest early on in my runs due to this issue. Jumping in Rygar has its quirks as well. Your jump is a set height no matter how long you push the A button. If you're moving left or right when you jump, then you can control your movement in air during your entire jump. However, if you're standing still when you jump, you cannot control your movement until you reach the apex of your jump. This is why you'll sometimes see me move backwards at the start of a jump where moving forward isn't an option. Otherwise, you're stuck until you reach the apex of your jump. Attacking while jumping can be funky. You are unable to attack for a frame or two at the start and end of your jump. Otherwise, you're free to attack during your jumps. Getting your attack inputs eaten during jumps can be frustrating if you don't keep this in mind. Rygar has a level up system with two different stats, tone and last. Tone is directly related to the amount of damage you do per attack. For every 8 tone, your attack damage is increased. Last is directly related to the amount of health you have. Enemy spawns in Rygar can vary based on your movements. It can take a bit of practice to get consistent spawns, but don't stress over this point. Familiarity with spawn patterns is something that will happen naturally as you practice. But remember, even slight movement variations can alter spawns. Alright, let's get into the actual run. We begin by simply moving to the right side of the zone. We will want to jump over any enemies that are coming at us from the right. We have 2 opportunities to take damage boosts from Rolfers that spawn behind us. We want to take 2 damage on this screen to help set up for death abuse after we grab the grappling hook shortly. To ensure we take the second damage boost, jump over the turtle as soon as it shows up on the screen. In the Gran Mountains, we make our way to the right until we get to a point on the right side of this tree, where we wait to take a damage boost from the Rolfer. Once we take a hit, we jump up through the sprite and spring off the top to make it to the next platform. We continue on to the right, skip this rope, and jump the large gap. We climb a couple ropes to make it up to the next section of the Gran Mountains. This next section is important for getting kills to increase your tone count. It is possible to kill 5 Fallaracos while losing minimal time. Move to the right while the group chases you. When they get close, jump and land on their heads, stunning them. This should create a group of 3 that you can take down together. Continue to the right until you get to the rope heading down. Turn and kill 2 more Fallaracos before climbing down the rope. Now, make your way to Garloz. Coming into Garloz, I like to hold jump and up and right. This will buffer the diagonal jump movement as you transition through the door. Moving upward, I jump to the right, kill a Hyoking, move back left, try to kill 2 more Hyokings, then move a bit more left and kill the final Hyoking before exiting the screen to the left. I jump as I go to ensure I can continue moving diagonally. Make your way up until you reach an angry tree-looking thing called a Knoble. Kill the Knoble and continue on the path until the next screen transition. The next screen contains a door that leads to the grappling hook. Once you grab the grappling hook, go back outside and find the nearest Hyoking to take an intentional death. We're back at the entrance to Garloz, and this time we make our way up and right. On the next screen we head up. This is a good time to relax and take a drink of your beverage. Round the bend and take the exit to the right. On the next screen we're going to kill the Knoble before entering into Rolsa. In Rolsa, make your way to the right. Jump to get some hits on the first group of Olbuses you see, then turn around to get more hits on them and finish them off as you continue right. Here we grapple upward. We shouldn't have to worry about Olbuses now since we killed the first few. Make your way over the door to the right and go down the next rope. Go right until you come to the red Moghulin. Hit him as you land and push him back. Jump over him and continue your trek. I like to make the next jump from the crack between these boulders here, which helps avoid the next red Moghulin. Jump up to the small green platform and grapple up. The hitboxes of the Moghulin provide more leeway for passage than you might think. Jump across the platforms to the right and grapple down by ducking and pressing B. Make your way across the boulders, hitting any Olbuses that might threaten you. Enter the door to Eruga's Forest. There are a couple approaches to Eruga's Forest that differ a bit in speed and difficulty. The easier route relies on despawning the red bugs known as Kinatarnos, where the more difficult route relies on jumping over them and around them. I'll go over each route, starting with the easier route. Make your way to the right, jumping any gaps necessary. When you see the Kinatarnos, walk back the way you came until it is off screen. Once it's off screen, start moving right again. This movement should despawn the Kinatarnos. Climb the ropes to the second level of the forest. Make your way along the treetops until you reach the next rope, then descend. Once on the forest floor, continue right again until you find another Kinatarnos. Despawn him in the same fashion as the first. Shortly, there will be another. Despawn it as well and ascend into the treetops. Make your way right until you find another rope, then descend again. Next you will run into 2 Kinatarnoses. Despawn them both. Next up, the Olbuses of Eruga's Forest will spawn. Each of these provides 1 tone, and we need to have 48 tone total by the time we reach the end. If everything went well, we should only need to kill 8, but kill extras if you need to. We run past the first Olbuses, getting hits in where you can, to this branch, where we will turn and fight them. Get as many hits in as you can and follow them as they flee and kill them. This should prompt the next group to start spawning. When you get to the last branch before Eruga's lair, turn and fight them, finishing them off as they flee. The faster route is largely the same, but with a few trickier bits. As before, make your way right, jumping the gaps. When you come to the tree housing the Kinatarnos, jump to the branch opposite and grapple up. You may need to kill a wild Olbus if it spawns. If you grapple up a bit too far left or right, the Moghulins in the rooftop may spawn unfavorably and knock you to your death. It's best to safe state practice this bit to make sure you can get reliable Moghulin spawns. Go right along the treetops and descend using the rope. Move right and jump at the Kinatarnos. I use this spot on the branch as a visual cue to start my jump. When you land, immediately jump again to avoid the projectile. You should be able to continue on without stopping at all. Make your way up to this branch and grapple up. Move right to the rope and descend. We despawn the next two Kinatarnoses just like the other route, and we also fight the Albuses in the same fashion. Spawn the first 4 and fight them on the branch. Spawn the next 4 and finish them off just before Eruga's lair. Remember, we want 48 tone going into the fight with Eruga. You can fight Eruga with less than 48 tone, but it will require more hits and more time till victory. The Eruga fight is all about finding the rhythm to both land attacks and avoid its fireballs. This is made more difficult by the fact that Eruga has some decently long iframes, so mashing doesn't help. There are other strategies for fighting Eruga, but this is the one that I use. Start by approaching Eruga and attacking. I mash here since we don't know how long it's going to be before the first attack. The tell that Eruga is going to attack is that it will stop moving and freeze momentarily. Its fireball attack follows. Jump over the fireballs, attack once on your descent, reposition when you reach the ground, attack twice, attack while jumping over the next set of fireballs. Repeat this pattern until you've reached the left side of the platform. You can tell if your hits are landing from the boof sound effect. Once you reach the left side of the platform, jump over Eruga and continue your attacks from its right side. It is possible to get 5 attacks in per cycle, but the timing is really tight. 5 attack cycles also seem easier from the right side of Eruga. Your prize for defeating Eruga is the wind pulley. The wind pulley is used to cross ropes strung across chasms. Head down and exit to the left. Now that we have the wind pulley, we can cross the rope. Try to line up your chest with the anchor post where the rope is attached. It can be kind of tricky to get on the ropes. Head down for a bit. This is a good spot to take a drink of your beverage. Head left and you will be faced with a bunch of corner jumps. Try to err on taking the corners wide so you don't fall into the water. The line between where you can walk and where you will fall isn't obvious. Make your way through the door into Mount Primeval. If you've taken damage, it might be worth it to take a quick death in the pit at the beginning of the zone. You'll spawn right at the beginning of the zone, which doesn't lose too much time. And you'll also get refilled with 3 health bubbles. Mount Primeval can be a real pain point. The spawns you get will dictate how easy your time is in this zone. The Epelcons will drop eggs on you and generally be in your way. It's best to attack them if they are in range. While Mount Primeval can be frustrating, it is possible to learn the patterns and become consistent at making it through with most of your health. Enter the door to Sagilla's cave. Head right, avoid enemies, and climb down the nearest rope. Head right again and climb down the next rope as well. Head left until you reach the next spot to descend. Once you climb down to the platform, walk right until you're off the platform. I didn't go far enough the first time here. When off the edge, immediately duck. Ducking will stop your character from falling. From this position, quickly press and hold up and B until the grappling hook is attached to the ceiling. Then climb down. Once you can no longer climb down, hold up and left until Rygar begins to vibrate a bit. Then attack a couple times, still holding up left. Once your attacks have finished, let go of up left and hold right. You should fall off the grapple and begin coasting along the ceiling. Go right until you reach the edge. Enjoy the hot jams of Sagilla's cave. Once you fall out of the ceiling, jump to the right and try to get a hit on the Garzel. Jump up and attack again, then jump forward, attacking while moving. Keep moving forward while you engage the next Garzel. Go under the third Garzel. Before you jump at the final pair of Garzels, kill the first fireball that comes out of the pit. Finally, move, jump, and attack until the last pair are dead. Begin by walking right slightly, then jump straight up and over Sagilla. When it starts to climb the wall, attack once and turn it around. Sagilla will come back towards you. Duck and attack after it has passed over you. Now face left while staying ducked and attack. Keep repeating this motion of attacking back and forth until Sagilla is dead. It is very important to stay ducked the entire fight. Sagilla will do 2 damage to you at this point, which will most likely kill you. Once Sagilla is dead, head right to claim the crossbow. This will let you shoot ropes across chasms where anchor points exist. After collecting the crossbow, immediately jump downward. Quickly start moving left, or else you'll fall in the river. If you immediately move left, you'll end up back in Mount Primeval. Round the corner and head up. Take a drink of that beverage. Try to round this corner so that you end up lined up with the anchor point like this. Face up and fire a crossbow shot. Move across the rope and jump down when you reach the other side. A full jump should get you to the point where you can move right past the rocks. Enter into Dorago's palace. Start going right and diagonal jump up and right about halfway across the screen. After transition, get close to the pit and make the diagonal jump across. It's safer than it looks. Diagonal jump up and right to the right side of the screen. Head up until you reach the pillar section. Jump through the pillars and jump over the pit. Head to the left of the screen to exit. Jump left and down once you've passed the wall. The Knoble can shoot you, so be careful if you have 0 extra health. 2 jumps should line you up with the anchor. Cross the rope and jump down and left once you get to the point where you'll miss the wall. Try to transition screens close to this position for favorable German spawns on the next screen. Continue left to the next screen. This is a good spot to take a drink as we prepare for the power-up grind. Next is the power-up grind. It's one place where you can save or lose significant time depending on how it goes. Practicing this section might have the best time save payoff in the game. The goal of this section is to power up enough that you don't need to worry about increasing your power for the rest of the game. The cue for when you're powerful enough is when you reach 4 health bubbles on the bottom row of your health meter. The following is just how I do things. There are other ways that have been performed quicker, such as Toad's PB for this category. I was unable to replicate his results using his strats, but you may have better luck. We start by entering the next screen when your head is somewhat close to the wall. This will make sure we're lined up with the enemies on the next screen. When you enter the screen, 2 green enemies called Germans will head for you. Defeat them and head up. We want to move to a specific point here. I try to line up Rygar's elbow with the middle of the 4th block on the right side of the screen. Once you're lined up, wiggle Rygar up and down to spawn Germans at the top of the screen. Once they're getting close to you, turn to attack them. I try to get 18 hits in on the first wave before I jump and attack them. Wiggle some more and do 10 hits on the second wave before jump attacking. Around 5 hits for the third wave. At this point I use the health bubbles for reference as to how many hits I should do before jump attack. With 1 health bubble on the bottom row, I do 5 to 3 hits. For 2 health bubbles I do 3 to 1 hits. For 3 health bubbles I only do jump attacks. When I get to 3 health bubbles, I also don't try to spawn as many enemies as I can. I just do 2 or 3 wiggles and then kill the wave. This seems to go quicker than spawning loads of Germans. Once you get that 4th health bubble on the bottom row, head up. You also need 5 stars here, but you've almost certainly gained that many during the grind. Head right on to the next screen. Continue heading right. Now move down along the pillars. Hook around the bottom of the pillar, killing the Knoble as you go. Head up, killing the Knobles along the way. Before the door, jump, pause, activate Attack and Assail with A, and unpause. Attack and Assail hits everything on the screen. It also makes you invulnerable while you are attacking with it. Once in the boss room, immediately attack followed by jumping upward and attacking 3 times. Keep jumping and attacking following the perimeter of the room, and you should kill Dorago just in time for his door to spawn where you are. Collect Indora's armor. Once outside, run down into the water to take an intentional death. Hold start. Once you respawn, run left into the door to the Gran Mountains. Go right and climb the rope. Now go left and climb the rope. Head left and climb the next rope you come to. Follow the path to the right, crossing ropes when needed. You may need to kill some Epple cones along the way. Enter the Tower of Garba. Head in and up the rope. Head toward the Kuzilar and attack. Watch for when it stops moving, which means it's about to shoot. Jump over the fireballs and attack until it's finished. This Kuzilar usually attacks pretty early. Expect to get 1, sometimes 2 hits in before it shoots. The rope appears after the Kuzilar is defeated. Head right to the next screen. Run toward this Kuzilar and jump at it when it stops moving. Bounce off its head and continue on. The next Kuzilar fires a bit slower. Run up to it, attack twice, jump over, attack 2 more times to finish it off. The next room contains the Demoro Bruiser. It circles the perimeter of the room, sometimes dropping from the ceiling to the floor. It has a few patterns it can follow, but in general, wait to get hit and then attack it in the same fashion as Sagilla, using your iframes to avoid additional damage. If you've taken some damage prior to this point, you'll want to use a slower but safer strat to defeat Demoro Bruiser. Attack once, then grapple up to the ceiling. Once near the top, attack it as it comes around. The final boss of the tower is Death Pygor. When you reach the top of the rope, jump to the right and land in front of Death Pygor. Keep attacking until it dies, tanking any hits from fireballs. You will have to reposition if you get knocked out of attack range. The Pegasus Flute is the prize for conquering the tower. It is used to make the path to the Sky Castle appear. Next, we make our way back to the left. Follow the path, making use of the ropes when necessary. We are also trying to get 5 stars by the end of the run for use on the final boss. Try to kill any enemies that are convenient and don't waste too much time. I found that when you killed between 8 and 14 enemies, a star, 3 pack of stars, or a health vial will drop. Make your way back down the rope and head to the right. Go down again and head back through the door to Garloz. Head to the exit on the right side of the screen, killing any enemies along the way. Here, we line our chest up with the rope and cross the river. On this screen, walk a tiny bit right and then start diagonal jumping up and right, killing the Knoble along the way. Exit to the right. Head up, killing any Hyo Kings that you can, and enter the door. Here, Cape Grandpa will fill up your health. If you're feeling especially brave, you can skip the health refill to save around 11 seconds. Continue down and exit on the right. Diagonal jump down and right to kill the Knoble and go through the entrance to Rygar Fight. Rygar Fight has similar spawns to Mount Primeval. The pattern can be somewhat random, but at least there are no pits or ropes to navigate here. Try to get a few kills here, but be wary of killing the Epicons up in the air. If they drop a star up high, it might not be possible to gather it. Climb the rope and make your way to Lapis. Make your way right to the rope. Climb up, killing 2 Garzels as you ascend. Go right and grapple up. I use this point as a visual cue. Kill the Bargon and jump over the door to the right. There is a hidden anchor point here that can be used to shoot a rope to the right. Make your way right and grapple down just after the door. Head left, killing the enemies along the way. Grapple down close to this position. Kill the Garzels and continue right. This next platform spawns a decent amount of Rolfers and Bargons. Try to kill as many as you can along the way, paying special attention to when enemies group up. This is a good opportunity to get stars. Jump over the door and grapple down. Heading left, make your way over the gaps. Kill the enemies when you come to them. If you feel like the Garzel might drop a star, skip killing it. Enter the door to Belzar's lair. Walk under the right side of Belzar's platform and grapple up. If he shoots at you, it's usually okay to tank a hit. Once on the platform, position yourself as far right as you can and start attacking. Jump his fireballs when needed. When Belzar dies, head to the left door and collect the coat of arms. After exiting, kill the Knobles and head to the exit on the left. Head up and left, killing 1 more Knoble and any possible Hyo Kings along the way. Angle left and down, kill the Knoble and enter Rolsa. Head right, killing the Olbus that spawns in front of you, and continue on. Grapple up here. Jump over the door and grapple up again. We make our way to the right side of the pillar and continue the climb. I try to line up on the middle tile on the right side. Once you enter the last screen transition, open the menu and use the flute with the B button. Kill the Garzels if you still need stars, otherwise just damage boost through them. Once in the Sky Castle, head right. You can go right through the door tiles. You have a number of screens where you'll be doing nothing but running right. This is a good time to get one last big drink of your beverage. I like to stay lined up on the bottom of the grassy area because it helps line up the jump coming up. Once I get to this grass tile, I start diagonal jumping up and right. Keep jumping until you scroll the screen. I like to line up in between these columns of grass tiles to help set up entering the door ahead. Jump through the door and angle upward. Jump again and enter the next door. On this next screen, jump and move right. Jump again to avoid the shadow monster. Then start angling toward the left side and enter the door. Start heading down and jump to kill the crawling shadow monsters on this screen. Head to the left side and enter the door. Jump over this shadow monster and continue left. Angle down and go through the door. On this screen there are anchor points, but there are also hidden platforms in the air. You can choose to shoot a rope across the gap or use the hidden platforms. I'll show the platform strat. Line up with the anchor point and jump. Move right one tile while in the air. Jump again after you land. This is slightly faster than using the crossbow. Use the crossbow on the second set of anchor points and exit to the right. Angle upward and then face down to line up a kill on the shadow monster. Exit right. In this room, try to spend as little time as possible on the ground. A safer strat is to start walking down as soon as you enter, jumping and then angling toward the door. Head left in the pillar room. You have to move a little bit up to avoid running into the pillars. Exit to the left. If you have 5 stars, just kill the 3 shadow monsters and continue up. If you need to farm more stars, you can line up on this point and wiggle to spawn more shadow beasts. With stars in hand, head up, shoot your rope across the gap. I start pushing the jump button here to make sure I jump as soon as possible when landing. Jump to the left and over the shadow monsters. Traverse the empty room. Head right here. Jump to the anchor point, shoot your rope, and begin to cross. Halfway across, I menu, activate attack and assail, and continue across. Attack and assail will damage Ligar from across the screen. Start hitting the attack button slowly while moving toward Ligar. If you hear a chirping sound, that means the attack didn't land because you were swinging too quickly. I stop in the middle of the room while I'm landing additional attacks. Toward the end of our 10 attack and assail hits, I start to close in on this position. Once the 10 hits are over, we jump and attack Ligar's face. If you didn't have to grind extra shadow monsters, 2 more hits are required once attack and assail is over. And that's it. You have brought peace to our ghoul. I hope you have enjoyed the Rygar any % no wrong warp speedrun tutorial, and I hope it helps your Rygar speedruns. Thank you for watching.